Hello.
Welcome to Brave Free Travel Story Time.
Woo! Story time.
Okay, so we're gonna do this little segment thing where we talk every day about crazy stories. We have a lot of traveling that we've done before we decided to record and put all of our information out there. So we did a poll on Instagram and you guys voted for this. So we're gonna be doing a segment talking about the craziest things that have happened to us in different countries. And the choice for today was South Africa.
South Africa was an amazing trip. We've been there twice, and we are going to make this a third time eventually soon, one of these days. But
So my godmother lives in South Africa with her daughters, who are like my cousins. They're literally my family, and we have been lucky enough to be able to go there twice. The second time, we made South Africa, Johannesburg, particularly our home base, while we travel around the area. So a lot of things have happened to us there. But I think, and I don't know if it's like the craziest, but like it's a crazy thing. Swimming with sharks, I think, would be my thing.
yeah, we did that in Durban. That was probably the most heart-racing thing I've ever done. It's just the moment when one, diving is its own thing in its own, and then after just getting ready to dive, and you see it in the video, I'm like, when I dive back and I go into the water, I'm like, I am freaking out. And there's one thing that they tell you is not to stick your hand out, and I'm doing, I'm filming, so I'm like, I am not sticking my hand out, because what happens is that a shark thinks it's a fish or thinks it's something else, and it'll go for it. And they are fast, and they creep up too.
So the thing with diving, diving without a cage with sharks, is that you have to trust in nature. And normally that goes, there's a lot of people that do this and nothing ever happens, But it is a surreal experience, because what they do is they bring a bowl full of chum down into the water and they shake it so the shark smells it and comes to feed off the fish, obviously, and you're there. So I think when we went, we had about maybe 14, 15 sharks all around us.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely surreal. First of all, they're beautiful creatures. But they're so curious about us. Like, not so curious that you would freak out, but they're curious enough to be, to come close to you and whatnot. So that was pretty awesome.
They definitely, yeah. We were waiting to see a tiger shark. There's a tiger shark that appears in that area, and we were, oh my gosh, those things are just, if I saw one, I would have been like, hold me.
Yeah, but it's pretty awesome, because it's also when you're diving, you're kind of like just on your own kind of thing, so it kind of feels like you're just suspended in this like body of water, right? And with the sharks,
it's true. Those sharks, they look you up and down, and they're looking to see what's going on. They are vigilant, and you could see it in their eyes. They are like, wow, they are very smart creatures, and they know what they want. And for example, I remember when we all dove, the instructor did this very interesting gesture to the shark, because the shark was coming in close, being a little aggressive. And so what he did is he rose his arms up. And when he rose his arms up, it showed that he wasn't afraid of the shark. Mm-hmm. And so it got really close, but it like backed up, like, come at me, see what happens type of thing. And it was like this weird challenge that the shark was doing with the instructor, and I was like, oh my gosh, But of course,
those people go diving every day, and they already know those sharks, so It's a totally different thing. But I think the other craziest thing we've done, at least for me anyway, was, so we went to
Mahalisburg. No, it wasn't Mahalisburg.
No.
It was
Marakele, which is it's actually one of our most popular videos. We went. It's a safari. So what they do is they basically they feed the lions whenever they feed them, but they allow you to go see it like twice a week, and in 2 of those days you're allowed to go inside of a cage in the back of a truck, and they throw the food on top of you, and the lions jump up and eat it and take it off the truck and take it. So like, this was a really controversial video for us, and I don't know why it became super wildly popular, but the craziest thing is that a lot of people had an issue with it. But when we went, we researched the place. We actually thought the place was like, doing a good thing because it's supposed to be a sanctuary. But that's not the subject we're talking about. The craziest thing is that you can hear, so you're inside this cage and the lions and the lionesses actually like jump on the truck to to get the carcasses or the pieces of meat that they're being thrown at, and you can see them like stepping and going to get it. But to me, the wildest thing was hearing, because at one point the lioness came and grabbed, I think it was a bit of chicken, and I could hear the bone crashing inside of her mouth of whatever animal she just put in her mouth. And it was like, like the only thing separating me and this crazy beast is this little flimsy fence. I mean, it wasn't flimsy, but still.
Not flimsy, I would not have gone. I was like, testing out the bars, everything's good. It was funny because in the video it shows the lioness jumped up top, but the main lion was basically like it didn't jump all the way on top. She did that. So the person that was, when we strategically put the meat on top of the truck, they put one where the lion could reach it from the bottom and all the way to the top. But when the lion went up to get it, it basically came down hard and it moved like the gates a little bit. And we're like, did he just open it? We're like double checking. Marakele was a controversial video. We really didn't know it was. We just thought it was, a very interesting thing to do. This place was basically where the main person that owns Marakele at the time owned it, but he died. He went into the cage, and basically the lions attacked him. And so that
was way before we went.
That was before, but we didn't know.
We didn't know any of this.
We researched it as a sanctuary where they take animals that have been hurt in the wild and they basically take care of them and whatnot. But we didn't know that, And so, once after I saw, I'm thankful I didn't see it before, but I saw it after. I was like, oh my gosh, I remember everything that was there, and oh my gosh.
Actually, another one of the craziest things that happened, at least for me, was sleeping there. So back when we went, you could rent like a cabin, like a safari cabin, and stay there the night. And two crazy things happened that night. One was that we could hear the lions having sex all night long. All night long. Like all night long.
And it was stormy. Remember?
Yes, and it was crazy stormy, thunder. And they were crazy loud. And it was just like, it woke us up. And another thing that happened that night is that after we finished the tour and we hung out and everything, we had some wine. And I was like, oh, I'm just going to go for a walk. And I started walking. It was pitch dark. Like, it was completely dark. Yeah. And I was walking barefoot. And, I was walking right next to the lion's enclosure. And at one point, I see a light coming. And I turn around. And it was you or Victor?
It was Victor.
It was my brother who was coming. And he lifted the cell phone light to look at me, and right next to me was a lion that had been walking next to me the entire time. And I had not heard him, seen him, felt him, nothing. Like, these creatures are totally nocturnal and they're so good at being disguised. Like, he was walking alongside me the entire time in the dark. The only thing keeping us apart was again, a flimsy fence. And
it was not a flimsy fence.
It was a fence, like a regular fence, not like a super crazy fence. It was just like a fence,
It was too close to comfort because I went out there as well. I was like, oh my gosh, what are they doing? What's going on? Well, they were having sex, but after they were done, we were like, what's going on?
To clarify, the lions were not having sex like right next to the fence. Like, we never saw the lions having sex. We only heard the lions having sex.
But I still went out there, and they are vigilant. Lions hunt usually. A lot of animals in Africa hunt during the nighttime.
Right.
And so we were basically looked at as prey,
Okay, another wildest thing that happened. Go.
Oh my gosh.
A crazy thing.
Well, the craziest thing. Remember, it was the first time that we actually went. It was, remember the elephants, the herd of elephants? Yes. Where we did a different safari. We went to Johannesburg.
No, it's a big park. Kruger.
No, it wasn't Kruger. It was Johannesburg.
No, Johannesburg is the mountain. Anyway.
we went in this private safari situation. So they came and picked us up. We went all the way over there, and we at one point, you have to get the top 5, and the top 5 are the hardest, the most endangered species, hardest to find animals
in the wild.
In the wild. And elephants are in this time in this place. I mean, there was a small herd that we ran into, and it was like 25 of them, and it was like the bull, the grandma, everybody. And they basically were on the road, and they just started crossing the road.
But the thing that nobody tells you is that when you see a movie or something about safaris, is that you see the little big trucks and everybody's in it above or whatever. But when you are doing a private tour and you're in a vehicle, like a car, like we were in a sedan. Mm-hmm. So like we were sitting in the back of a car, the driver was in the front, and hey, Luis, if you're watching this, and it was a great adventure. But the thing is that you're going in a little car, trying to see from the grass, trying to spot an animal. And that's why it's so important to go with the guide, because he had already done this so many times that he knew their patterns and where they would go. And I remember that like around 10 in the morning, he said, let's go around. I think the elephants are they're all the way, we could see them really, really far. And he was like, I think they're going to be here in about an hour and a half or so. And lo and behold, when we came around, it was like an entire civilization of elephants. It was like 25 of them.
And they were crossing the road, and all the cars that were there, they stopped because the bull was, doing its thing. It was kind of like being very territorial, and it was protecting the herd and as well with the grandma as well. So it was a very, very unique experience.
And the grandma actually stood in the middle of a road and waited for every single elephant, all to the last little one, to cross before she like moved. Like she waited, and she was the last one to go. And then you could see them all waiting for her. And when she finally finished and made it, like she made it all the way down to the water hole, and they all kind of like had a conversation and decided where to go. But like she was so obviously the head of the entire community. It was super cool. Yeah. I cried. It was like surreal. It was so many of them, and you could feel the ground move. Oh, it was just.
The thing is with South Africa, it's man, you feel it. It's so raw. The food is amazing.
Oh, another cool thing that I just remembered. Sorry. One time we were in South Africa, and we were just like having drinks and eating at a bar situation place, and this one song came up that apparently was popular at the time over there, and I swear to you, the entire place got up and started dancing. Everybody.
I don't know what it's called.
I don't know, but it was like Jabo, no, and everybody got up, and it was like such a vibe. Like we had never seen that anywhere else. Like everybody just got up, old people, young people, kids, women, men, the servers, everybody just started like just like jamming to this song, and it was such an amazing vibe. Even we got up and started dancing.
Yeah, of course. We had to join in the fun, I mean, South Africa has so much to offer. It's my gosh. Remember when we went to go? We went to the giraffes. Remember, there were some giraffes that we went to go feed.
Oh yeah,
that was very cool. We pet, baby lions. I know that's controversial, but we had to see the baby lions.
It was really cute.
It was really, really cute.
It was really cute. A lot of this we did before we started researching and educating ourselves a little bit more on the controversies of like animals for tourism.
Yeah.
But it was still a very good experience. I don't know that I would do it again, but now that I have done it, and I can tell you that it was a nice experience.
Yeah, South Africa is a trip. It really is a trip.
We could go to South Africa like 75 more times, and it still wouldn't be enough to discover the whole country. It's a beautiful, beautiful country.
Yeah, there's so much to see for sure.
There you go. 5 crazy things that happened to us in South Africa. I'm sure we have a lot more crazy things that happen in South Africa and other places. But stay tuned. Tomorrow we'll post another video for the next country. So don't forget to subscribe. Yay.